Hi Taurus, hi, this is Marta with Universal Power Tarot, and these messages we bring you today are supposed to encourage, elevate, and empower you guys. Hi, this is a channel for personal and spiritual growth. Welcome. Darkness and light. I just need to say this up front, and it's very much tied into your reading already, I can tell. I'm coming into more and more in my shadow, and there's going to be a video on the shadow too. Yeah, and it's good. It is a good thing to incorporate more of shadow, more of self. And this is precisely, my dear Taurus, is what your first card is talking about here. And we kind of are going to jump right in. Everything you need to know, from private readings to mentorships to apparel to email addresses, everything's down below. All right. Yeah. Yeah, that's that. You have rediscovery here, so it's a general reading. It may or may not resonate with you. Please only take what resonates towards and leave the rest behind, because that means it's for somebody else. Also, of course, you can check your sun, moon, rising, and your Venus sign. I always state that before I start the reading too. But please go with your gut here on this channel, meaning whenever the title of a reading resonates with you, just go ahead and watch it, because most likely it has a message in it for you. You are so smart. Your body is so smart. Your intuition is so smart. It'll know where to take you. Same with rediscovery. You are so smart. Your body is so smart. You know the answers. And even if you're going through a dark period right now, or rediscovering your shadow, your Taurus, this is a good thing. Really a good thing, because yeah, it's not just the light, and it's not just, all that awesomeness and everything. It's also the other. And I just right before did the Patreon energy update. If you're interested, you may as well head over there to check that reading out as well, because it had a lot in that already. So it's kind of interesting for me to go from that reading to this one here to yours, because I've already said what I needed to say, and we'll see what wants to come out here. I'm going to read the meaning here to you. The earthly meaning is withdrawal to the security of loved ones, stumbling on or triggering a memory. Stories told in safety, creative space, a message from the past for the future. Your body remembers. Listen to its story. Deep pain is transformed into wisdom and understanding. In an inheritance, legacy, or heirloom, having access to the tools and knowledge you need. Be gentle with who you were and strong about who you will become. Exactly. The spiritual meaning here is, if you are feeling lost, confused, or are asking what life is all about, then it may be the perfect time to consult your original self, the one you kept hidden while you grow up and supposedly wiser around it. The sweet, loving, innocent you is not lost. Deep down, you still are that person. The original you exists outside of time, safe and awaiting rediscovery. And it goes on, and I still want to read that to you because I feel it's relevant. Ancient wisdom awaits rediscovery. Your stories are within you, Taurus. Some may be forgotten, but they are never lost. You may search for them. You may stumble across them. You may take shelter and rediscover them in darkness. Journey to the sanctuary within. Yeah, and there's also something about creativity and how the ancient cavemen and women really used, that darkness, that dark cave, as a sanctuary, as a from cold weather, from dangerous animals. But they also started to use their creativity, right? They started to paint the walls, and it's the same thing. It's how you discover something else, a deeper hidden part of yourself, Taurus, within that darkness. How all of a sudden something starts to bloom, much like the lotus flower out of the mud, right? Something you wouldn't expect such beauty to come up, yet it still rises out of yourself, and you may be surprised as soon as you start to apply, put a paintbrush in your hand and start to draw or start to write. You may be very amazed of how much beauty wants to come out in poetry, in artwork, in whatever it is that you're expressing yourself with, through dancing, through, again, whatever it is for you. And the next card out actually is creativity. And as this one came out, because I could see it, I was just like, wow, this is amazing. This is so crazy. And I love it. We, your angelic messengers, are here to help unleash the endless creative potential that you possess. Listen to the whispers of love inside your heart as we communicate with you through feeling and emotion. Let go of fear and apprehension and express the endless source of creativity you possess. Have fun and allow the inner child within you to express your true essence. All is valid. Oh my goodness. And we do indeed have the inner child here, right? The precious little girl, not gender specific, right? With the mother and then the crone down here depicted as a figurine. So it's that whole process of from an acorn to a huge acorn tree, to it's talking about potential, all the potential that you hold and that may have been suppressed by society, by whoever else is around you. And that process right now I feel is like whew, sweeping all of that away because it no longer serves you. And yes, that is a process that is most likely uncomfortable because because you're being shown what has been holding you back so that you may be able to change it accordingly. Yes, okay. Let's have a look. Thank you. Ah, yes. Yeah. Oh, wow, yeah. Thank you. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Precisely what we're talking about already. And it's confirmed here for you again, Taurus. So your first card from the tarot is the Knight of Rods, which is the one that is defensive and that is sometimes on edge, kind of like ready to knock someone over the head with that wand here. And yeah, it's just coming through the way it comes through, and so I'm expressing it in such a way too. I don't feel like sugarcoating today at all. So yeah, so it's just going to come through the way it's coming through. So yeah, keeping something away from that little girl possibly, right? I feel these two are very connected, and that's often what we do. That's a defense mechanism, like not even wanting to anyone to see who you really are, because that could be dangerous, right? Especially if you've been told like that's not okay, the way you are is not okay, which is of course not true, right, Taurus? It's just you're so, look at this. How can you not love like this preciousness? It's virtually impossible not to love and want to get to know that little girl on the card, right? It's like, oh my God, she's so cute and precious, and please allow her to express herself. Please don't anyone hold her back, please. Yet you've somehow adapted exactly that attitude of keeping her sheltered, keeping her away from the eyes of others, like your most inner self, right? Because it used to be not allowed to express yourself in such a way, and that is coming up, and this is so good and so freeing ultimately, right? And the next card out, and also, by the way, with that one here, it's also keeping that little girl away from yourself. So as if almost like in some cases with you, it's almost like she doesn't exist. Her creativity, her expression doesn't exist. But she's very much there. And if you want to have a look over on Instagram, where I'll be posting the pictures, you'll see very much how present she is in this reading. And then you have the Nine of Cups, which in this deck is to me family patterns, like 101 straight up. It's just like that's where this is coming from, right? The way you were raised, the way you were brought up. This can also stand for societal norms that were just pushed upon you, but that's not really you. But often enough we're just adapting these because we do want to fit in. That's, humans are like that. We do would like to fit in. We do would like to be loved and accepted for who we are. And sometimes that meant at the expense of yourself, truly. But there's an end that is coming to that pattern, and you may not even have consciously wanted to bring that about. It may have just been happening for you. And here we have the Death card, close, Scorpionic energy, which is, first of all, Scorpionic energy is always going deep, wants to know, wants to investigate what are the patterns here. So you may start to be very interested in those things, and this is going to be very helpful later as well, if not for you right now also, because you're learning a lot about yourself, and how you can heal yourself, how you can stop the patterns that are arising here. Oh my God, in your life. And I'm just like, oh, because I know it so well, those patterns, and I can feel them very strongly right now coming up, and it's not pretty to look at because, yeah, it's not nice to look at. I can't say that I'm enjoying it, and I would imagine neither do you. But these are unhealthy attachments, right? With the devil card here, Capricorn energy. It could also be attached to trying to not feel, and instead working a lot, for example, or going shopping. It's anything compensatory, anything that you're doing to avoid those feelings, and that is being shown to you that right now. It's like a mirror is being placed right in front of you, and it's just like, okay, Taurus, it's time for you to have a look at this. And the reason is because we want to finish out this cycle here for you. We want to finish those patterns out here for you because they're not healthy. They've never been. They have helped you survive in some instances. And surely for a child, that's exactly how it feels like, because you're so dependent on your surroundings. There's no way that you can take care of yourself at such a young age, right? Some children actually do have to take care that young of themselves. But still, it's not an age where you could provide that kind of safety for yourself necessarily. Yeah, and definitely shadow work. That's what is popping up here and what has been coming up a lot. And then we have, my friends, the Tower here too. And again, the Tower comes in, this is spirit, like you, to remind you there is something that wants to fall away because it no longer serves you. It served its purpose and it's outserved its purpose by now. And it's got to do with those family patterns, right, that we mentioned already. And it's like anything that doesn't serve is burning away here. And this is a good thing. It needs to come to an end because, Taurus, this is what wants to come in. The Four of Wands. This is my favorite card out of this whole deck because it's such respect, is such warmth, it's such understanding. You know, it's so different than those unhealthy attachment or than those make-believe games, those false masks and everything, right? That we all learn, and that hopefully at some stage are being shown to us so that we can let go of them, so that this precious one here can finally emerge again in her creativity, in all her ways, and shine in all her beauty. So that's the journey here. I'm almost feeling kind of sick right now, like from the stomach. So there's a lot of energy that may be rising up. And some of you may actually be feeling sick as you're going through those experiences again. And you just need to trust that Spirit is guiding you towards this here. Really towards this. Yeah, we need like the higher you, I know. I know. So we're going to pull from the Good Tarot, which, yeah, I really love this one. I absolutely do. Thank you. What else, please? Spirit for Taurus. Thank you. Yeah. What else do we have for Taurus, please? Thank you. That's it. Oh my God. Eight of Air. Eight of Air is actually what came out in the Patreon reading, just with a different deck. Then we have Patience, Temperance, Seven of Earth, Seven of Pentacles. These are so beautiful. So beautiful. Now the Eight of Air is really talking about, that's the mental, right? That's the swords in the traditional tarot. And this one's really talking about like having a look, like she's having a look at all of these airy things, at all of these feathers, all of these thoughts that are coming in. And she's just like, okay, but from a higher view, she's just like looking at them and observing. It's like becoming the observer, not losing yourself in all those emotions and all those feelings, but really, yes, feel them. But not to lose yourself in them. It's more of the observatory, like from the bird's view, basically, to have a look at everything that comes up in such a way, and knowing too where you're going. This can be extremely helpful here in this situation. Otherwise, if you don't have that higher view over what is happening to you and with you right now, it may be like, my God, what is happening, right? But since you do understand, and since you are being given the overview here, it may be easier for you to know, yes, this is coming to an end. Yes, I'm just moving through a phase. Yes, I'm being asked to look at patterns and my feelings and emotions, and maybe look at the topic of forgiveness too, but not for the sake of whomever did what to you, but for the sake of yourself, really. Where it is. Yeah, because that frees up energy, you know, when you start to forgive and start to let go. Also, that doesn't mean that you forget, or it doesn't mean you condone another's actions. It's just like for yourself, so you can come to peace, and so that energy can flow into creativity, for example, here for you, Taurus, and not go into these things, because I would bet on that a lot of people would love to free themselves like that, in the way, on the journey that I see here for you happening, Taurus. However, it's not an easy one, again, and I'm just giving it to you straight up here because that's how the energies come through, and I believe it's most helpful in such a way, and not trying to make it something that it is not, right? Yeah, and then the last card we're going to interpret over here, Taurus, is patience, with a number 14 breaking down to a 5, which is change. Change. But then again, I've been told not to use those numbers in such a way, so 14 may be important for you. And that's, of course, yeah, these things take time, and the healing of the heart takes time. It does take time. Like, she's holding like herself and her beautiful heart in the picture, and just know that these times are passing too. But sometimes when you're in it, it doesn't feel like it does, but it does. And it's like, trust spirit here, trust them. And what is also striking to me is the stars, and of course the star card is healing, is profound healing, and that you're looked after, although it may not feel like that. But I'm getting the strong presence of, well, angels that are watching over you as you are doing this. But sometimes you may feel like you're lost in the process, and that is okay too. Those times are okay too. And then some sign or some synchronicity is coming in, or a person is being sent your way that all of a sudden picks you back up out of this. And this is also spirit coming in and letting you know, hey, Taurus, like, we're here for you, and we're sending you signs, and this process is necessary for you to be more free, for you to rediscover yourself, truly. Yeah, and like I told you, we're going to take this over to your extended. So if you're interested, either Vimeo or Patreon are your two options. Vimeo is for single extendeds. Patreon is for all extendeds ever created and a little bit of extra. Check out which option suits you best. And I'll either see you over there or next time. Bye, Taurus.